All right, guys, I'll call our city commission meeting to order at 7 p.m. January 20th, 2026. Looks like we got a full board tonight, so we can get to work. Let's start off with our pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, we got our minutes for January 5th, 2025. That was our regular meeting. Plus, you guys have had a chance to look over the minutes, and if they look good, we'll need a motion to approve them as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as posted.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the minutes from January 5th as posted. Let's move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion carries. All right, commissioner report. Kyle?
Good evening, everyone. I don't have a whole lot. Big topic I guess I do have is over the long weekend, with the wind blowing, I did go out and move some snow around town. With that being said, I did find a lot of vehicles that are still in the same exact spot since the springtime or late fall, I should say. So I just please urge everyone to please move your vehicle to a different location so we can clear snow. There's a couple of vehicles that the snow is all the way up over the hood. It's that deep. So unfortunately, gonna give everyone 2 weeks to get those vehicles moved and then they're gonna get towed. Which will be February 3rd is when we'll start towing vehicles. If there's any issues, please call me 701-741-7887. We'll try to accommodate you, get over there to clear the snow so the vehicle can be moved. Whatever it may be, I'll talk to the PD officers, try to make contact with the owners as well to try to get in contact with them and just so we can get the streets clear. Because there's some streets where there's not a lot of room between the snow removal equipment and the vehicles that are still there on the streets, especially when they're on both sides of the streets even. So please get them vehicles moved is about the biggest thing I have. Other than that, that's all I got.
Nothing, for me. At the moment, it's been kind of a slow start to the year, so I don't really have anything, any pressing news or anything urgent that's went on, so.
All I have is all the parts have been shipped and delivered to the lagoon. They haven't started on it yet, but everything is there for them now. They are hoping to start within the next 3 weeks. We'll just have to see. I haven't been in contact with them, but I guess they're just not used to this weather down here. So hopefully it'll be done sooner than later.
I spoke to the guys today, the city guys, and pushing out work all the way till end of March now. So now we're kind of in a pickle.
Kind of in the same camp as Jaden. Not a whole lot to report. It's been really quiet, but I'm pretty excited about why it's been so quiet. We kind of talked about it at our city Christmas party. Everything's running really, really smoothly. 2025 wasn't really the easiest year, so to speak. There was a lot of unfortunate change, a lot of necessary change, but as of today, I think we're in a great spot. Our financial position is very strong right now. I feel like this culture overall has improved greatly, so pretty excited about all the work that you guys put in over the last year, a year and a half, really. It should make for 2026 to go a lot smoother than it has the last few years. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish without that extra stress hanging over us. So good job, guys. Thank all the workers in the city. I mean, they're they're the bread and butter on making this thing turn smoothly, so make sure to back them up and hype them up as much as you can. All right, modifications or approval of the agenda. We've got a couple items, that we need to add. We've got a quote from RPM Sound Design and then a quote from Agri Industries. One for sound components at the community center and then one for pump repair, correct, Kyle?
Yeah, that's correct.
So I would like to add those, but I would also like to remove a couple items, number 4 and 5. We got some raises and promotions that are on the agenda for today. I would like to table those until next meeting. The information I got from Chief Helene came in a little bit late, didn't have a whole lot of time to review it, and this is pretty big decision, so I'd like a little more time to review it before we vote on it. If that's all right with you guys. So my ask is to remove 2 items and add 2, so we would replace those. If that works for you guys.
Do you do pump on number 3 and the sound on 4 then?
No,
Or excuse me, the pump on 4 and the sound on 5?
yeah, either or, dealer's choice, whichever one you want to cover first.
I'll make a motion to modify the agenda by removing number 4 and 5, the raise promotion recommendations, and putting number 4 for the pump quote and number 5, the sound quote.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion, a second to approve the modified agenda, removing, new business 4 and 5 and replacing them with a new 4 and 5. Agri Industries at 4 and RPM Sound Design at 5. Any discussion on that? Cody, are you okay with that? Okay, let's move to a vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And yes, motion carries. So moving on to old business, Liz.
Oop, there I am. Sorry, guys. Slow trigger. Let me find my camera. There we are. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me scoot the mic a little closer. I, like Jaden and Brett and the balance of the board, don't have a ton to share tonight. I will just give the brief update. Looking at my notes here, I followed up with TerraFlex. We had some communications about some matters that Josh brought to my attention after the last meeting. I did appreciate that. Josh was prompt in communicating that. I appreciated that as well. I think we're tracking as we need to be, having had a couple of conversations about that, and we'll be prepared to update the board. Just kind of trying to get ahead of the possibility of that rebid and making sure that our ducks are all in a row, essentially, when we bring it to the commission, if we bring it to the commission, or if the commission should raise it, as we discuss what to do with Roller Coaster Road. Other item that I would note is that what is marked on my agenda, and I realize you've just revised it, but I did have a brief exchange with Wendy via email regarding former item number 7, the bank depositories. I guess we can discuss that this evening. Wendy did a good job reaching out to me. I got her an email reply, and then I got buried last week, so we've not yet connected. But if there's any discussion on that point or question, happy to share my view of what may or may not be impacted there, or where we're compliant as to any prior transactions or depositories at issue, based on what I understand. So I'll defer to you guys and to Wendy for that one. But I looked at what I have available and should be able to assist with that if we have any questions or concerns. Again, appreciate Wendy reaching out on that. Very good question, very good efforts to make sure we're compliant across the board. And I think that's very important, especially as to fiscal matters. So unless you all need me, or when you need me, I think that's all I really need to share tonight.
Thanks, Liz.
Sure thing.
Okay, I think I see Josh Reiner on there. We can move on to the engineer report.
I am here. Can you all hear me well?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. So a couple items to touch on tonight. The baseball field project, update on the design there. We've drafted have a draft of the construction contract, which I did include in the packet there this evening. I guess it may typically we do have the city attorney take a look at that. For Liz's information, we've pretty well followed what we've done on previous ones for the supplementary conditions, previous comments you've had there. I guess if you want, if the commission wants to have her take a spin through that draft construction contract, that'll be part of the bidding documents. I can share that with her to do a review of. Beyond that, on that project, the design, so we have draft specifications prepared that we're doing an internal review on, and preliminary drawings. We'll have those prepared in the next couple weeks, or by the end of the week here. So I'd like to set up a preliminary design meeting with the group to kind of talk through some details on that and run through the drawings. I don't know if Brett or Kyle, if either of you have an idea of some dates or times that may work next week. I guess we can always touch base later on to schedule a time to do that. I don't know if you have anything in mind right now or not, but
I don't have anything in mind, probably just shoot
Okay.
a text and try to get something together.
okay. Yep. Well, I'll reach out to you guys here in the morning and we'll get something scheduled there to go through that. So moving on, then the next item is the South Main Street project. So Liz had touched on that briefly. So I did reach out to her after the last meeting and just kind of coordinating to have some discussions with the geotechnical engineer from Brown Intertech that did some analysis of the settlement and whatnot out there, since we've witnessed some additional movement of the roadways over the last period of time since they initially took a look at it. So wanted to just make sure everything was okay there to have conversations with them. So I did hear back on that. So I do plan to reach out to him here tomorrow and see if I can schedule a time to have some initial discussions, and we'll look at likely scheduling a site visit to kind of review conditions and see what recommendations they may have going forward with it. So that's where that one stands. Other than that, that's all I have this evening. So unless you have any further questions for me.
Yeah, I have a question, Josh. Do we know
Yeah.
the last day that this job was scoped, I guess, as far as the settling and different concrete issues? As far as the date, was it in the fall? Was it in the mid springtime? We know.
You're saying when they did the geotechnical work out there,
Yes,
Kyle?
correct.
I don't know that off the top of my head. It would have likely been.
I think they were out there, Josh, not to interrupt, but I've had recent review of some of this stuff. They did some sampling and some on-site visits, or I want to say the word is core, but I'm probably wrong using that word. I think that occurred in July of, would that have been 23? I can pull that. It would have been a couple of years ago, Kyle, is the answer to that question. The actual site visit would have occurred in the summer. And then several months later, the report is dated to September, the actual findings, but they are several years old. I don't know, Josh, I realize we're relying on the geotech, but I didn't want to spook the commission. I should have maybe shared more. The
yep.
manner in which I described that request or inquiry, guys, to RJ, the other attorney for the other side, because Nagel, our geotech guy at Braun, is he's a geotech. He's not really for one side or against the other. He's an analyst, so to speak, or kind of an expert in causation and how that stuff works. But in any case, the movement out there is not what I would call substantial. I don't know, Josh, you can weigh in because I haven't seen it, but from what I understand, what's been described is that it's observable, but it's not something that would be unprecedented or maybe even not unanticipated because of the lapse of time. Sounds to me like it could really be an issue of gravity yanking on the asphalt, perhaps. So we don't know a lot, but Kyle, the long and short of that was that the site visit was summer several years ago. The report was finalized in September several years ago. And so in that several year period, Josh observed some movement. And so it needs just to be checked out to make sure that that's consistent with the initial determinations by Steve Nagel.
Yeah, I guess on that front, as we know, I mean, we're within winter and there's snow on the ground, and if this gentleman comes out and we take a scope at the job, I mean, how great of a look are we really gonna get with snow piles on the ground and I mean, are we really gonna see anything, or are we just wasting our time right now?
Well, two things there, and Josh, share your views of that. I would tell you, without vouching for Mr. Nagel or Braun, I don't want to do that, but they are a credible firm. And one thing I've learned about many of these kinds of firms is that if there's a condition on the ground that doesn't allow them to make adequate assessment, they will tell you that because they have liability and ownership of making those assessments, especially when there's pending litigation, and there certainly is that here. So I think we would know. Other thing to be mindful of, Kyle, is we'll have discussions about how that'll play, but technically that is TerraFlex's retained expert, not our expert. We all get along and we're all like-minded. As I said, they're just kind of an analyst or an expert who makes review. They're not they're not like a fact witness. They're an expert witness, different kind of humans, I guess, for that purpose. And so I'm confident, and I don't know if you agree, Josh, but I'm confident that if Nagel can't assess it, given the current circumstance, weather, impediments of weather, I certainly expect that he would tell us that, especially under the circumstance. If there are limitations, I expect he would tell us those. If there's a need to supplement those findings when weather clears, I expect he would tell us that. I don't know what your intentions were, Josh, but I think it would be wise to have that conversation early to find out what Steve's view of that is, and what, if at all, the current weather conditions might avoid or not. I don't think we've gotten that far yet. But in any case, I don't even know that we're on the hook for that bill, because that's TerraFlex's expert, and that was kind of a courtesy thing to let him know, hey, you may want to come take a look at this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, certainly. And it's more so, if there's additional look at the subsoils that they would need to, evaluate here. So, that would be through potentially borings or some additional work in that aspect. But yeah, certainly we wouldn't do anything that would be prohibited by the weather conditions and all that at this point. So.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Josh, can we jump back to the ball field, proposed contract?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to understand the thought process behind putting the provision of a contractor bonus for finishing early. It says the contractor and owner further recognize the owner will realize financial and other benefits if the work is completed prior to the time specified. Is this not going to be a lump sum bid process, or is it going to be T&M?
It would be, so the bid process would be a unit price contract. So, there'll be line items similar to the estimates we've put together of various pay items for whether it be earthwork or sod or various items. The bonus thing, and that's just in there as an item that we could discuss potentially. I know there is urgency to get that project built, so it would be something we could that the city could consider putting in that contract for early completion dates if the contractor were to achieve that. That's out there as something that can be considered at this point, but we'll have to talk through those details and see if that's something the city wants to consider or not. So.
Got time to talk through it real quick? That's just one nagging thing I see in the contract. I know we got like 85 pages to go through, but if it's the unit price bid, their bonus is finishing early all in itself, right? That means they got reduced overhead, they get in and out, they get done, they're paid the same, right?
Yep.
Why would we consider tacking on additional money to something that's in their best interest to finish early anyway?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's
In my
not.
mind, that needs to just get gone out of that contract.
Yep, certainly. And that's not commonly used, but in instances where there's an urgency to get the projects done, that it can be used just out there as a possible option. So can certainly remove that item.
But it's highlighted, should be easy to find.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Guys, we good to go to new business? All right, letter of interest for the city commission seat. Kind of same thing, last minute thing that hit our desk right before the last meeting. Really appreciate you guys not acting on that right away and taking 2 weeks to do your due diligence, but here we are. Still have that letter of interest. Wanted to know your guys' thoughts after the vetting process.
I guess I would like to make a motion to accept the letter of interest for the open board seat for the commission for Bob Fusion.
So just to clarify for Wendy too, your motion is to appoint Bob Fusen to our open commission seat?
That'd be correct.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to appoint Bob Fusen to our open commission seat. Any discussion on that?
I guess today I called Bob yesterday, spoke to him for a while and actually went down to the shop there for a while and we spoke and had a great conversation and chit chatted and, I said, might as well, or I gave him the invite to come to the meeting tonight and he showed up and so I appreciate you coming and nice chat today.
I'd like to just, thank you for the letter of interest and, thanks for kind of offering to kind of get in the ring with us and, help your community and whatnot. It's greatly appreciated and the community appreciates it as well. I would also like to say thank you. It's gonna be nice filling this void, so we actually have the full page up here for first time in a very, very, very long time. And I just look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Yeah, same here. You know that. Takes a certain amount of skin to do this job. Seems like there's probably just as much criticism as accolades, if not more, but I feel like you're in a pretty good position walking in. Obviously this open seat is only until July of next year, so it's rather short term, but I think you're just gonna knock it out of the park during that time, so. Thank you very much for stepping in and helping us out. Okay, well, we have that motion in a second to appoint Bob Fusen to our open commission seat. Let's move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And yes, that motion carries. Do we want to set aside a time to schedule the oath of office and then appoint or assign him a portfolio? So we can do what, 6:30 before our next commission meeting, which would be February 2nd, right? 6:30, February 2nd. Okay. All right, moving on to number 4. This is our Agri Industries quote. Kyle, I'd like to take this one.
Yeah, so in regards to speaking with Jason and Kirk, this pump is a 6-inch pump. It's used for a landfill, if we have a water main break, things like that. They actually started it up, was running it, and it's sounding terrible. Issues with the propeller, things like that. They talked to Agri Industries out of Williston. They gave them serial number, all that. He gives a quote for repair that pump. A new pump of this size and quality is like $20,000, so it's quite expensive. But parts and labor for the full repair bill is $3,427.14. So I would like to make a motion to accept this quote for $3,427.14.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to accept the quote for Agri Industries in the amount of $3,427.14. Any discussion on that one? Let's move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Number 5 for new business. Little background, guys, this is a quote from RPM Sound Design. This is the outfit that handles our sound technology at the community center. So we had a mixer on the old portion of the community center. Here to say that's the old portion, but the original portion of the community center. The mixer fried. He kind of did some tech support over the phone. He located a replacement in kind, which is a slight upgrade. Being how he's from Wheatland, he's got to travel up here, install it, calibrate it, make sure everything's working. So the total for that replacement part, labor and travel is $1,969. It's a must-have thing because right now we're borrowing the EDC sound system.
We'll make a motion to approve the quote from RPM Sound Design, the amount of one.
All right, let's move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion carries. All right, number 6, Johnson Controls Fire Protection. This is just a contract renewal. Guys, we know we got to do this every year. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, so this covers our alarm panels, main fire alarm panel, emergency and exit lighting, fire extinguishers, portable systems, backflow preventer, and the wet sprinkler system. So that includes inspecting, testing, all that stuff that we have to do annually for the state. So that grand total $2,058.35.
Brett. That it's actually a 3-year contract till 2029. So that's for 1 year, but if we send this, we're agreeing to a contract for 3 years. So the total is $6,190.58 is the contract amount.
6,001.
$6,190.58.
I feel like that's cheaper than we actually paid last time, so not a bad beat there, just to do it for 3 years. You guys got that number written down?
My only question was, that was just for City Hall? Or was that for the community center as well?
Just City Hall. I think the community center, both the community center and police department, those contracts mature in March.
Why will we revisit?
I'll make a motion to, renew the contract, with Johnson Controls, 3-year contract, amount of $6,190.58. I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to renew the contract, the 3-year contract with Johnson Controls in the amount of $6,190.58. Any discussion on that one? Okay, so to a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries. And we are on to number 7, bank depositories. Go ahead, Jaden.
Yeah, so we just need to designate a bank. We only hold our money in 2 places. We hold the majority of our money in Bank of Tioga. And we do have, some money at First State, but only, pretty much solely for the purpose of being in that, for that construction contract, the community center. So I guess that being said, I guess I'll make a motion to appoint the Bank of Tioga, for our bank depositories.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to appoint the Bank of Tioga for our bank depositories. Any discussion on that one? All right, let's move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. Lastly, the consent agenda. We got bills, payroll, and a raffle permit for the Tioga Historical Society. Mr. Stewart, I know you're gonna ask. Bills were $201,830.06, and payroll was $69,107.83. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Let's move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. Lastly, we're on to the public comment section. Do you have anything they want to talk about this agenda or the previous one? How about anybody that's joining in via Teams? Quiet. We'll just need a motion to adjourn now.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to adjourn. Move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion carries. We are adjourned at 7:33 PM.